Boom, boom, boom. You got the touch. You got the power. Yeah. That song is not in this movie. Hello there. I'm Scotty Gornat. Welcome back to my exploration of Dark Castle Entertainment, and we are on The Reaping, starring Hilary Swank, David Morrissey, Idris Elba before he was Idris Elba, and Anna Sophia Robb. This movie threw me off. I liked it. It's the biblical movie. You know, if you feel like you could put like The Exorcist, The Reaping, it does have a similar feel to those Exorcist prequel films. Exorcist prequel films that came out. Takes place in another country. It's someone who lost their faith coming out there to deal with something that has to do with God and all that stuff, and it's very similar. But where this movie succeeds over that is, I think that some decent acting. I mean, Stellan Skarsgård was great in one of those, the first one, I think. He's great in both, actually, but they didn't butcher these two. butcher this one like that. I think it's well done. I know it's 2007, so some of the CGI is not gonna hold up, but it doesn't look completely terrible. It's another 2000s horror thriller film that I feel it gets like pushed away. There's a lot. Everybody like writes off 2000s horror films, and yes, there are some duds like Cry Wolf or Shredder, but there's some other good ones like The Ring or The Uninvited or Saw. My brain, I don't always think right, but this I would say is in the middle. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. It's okay. The plot revolves around a debunker of miracles, Catherine, played by Hilary Swank. She had faith in an instant. She was actually a preacher or something. She was a woman of faith when something happened to her family, which I will discuss later, and that caused her to, you know, relinquish her faith. But now something is going on in the city in Chile, where for some reason there are Americans that speak with a southern accent. I don't know. And the 10 plagues of Egypt start up, and they have to figure out what's going on, why this is happening, and most of all, how to stop it. That is the plan. So, like I said, Hilary Swank plays Catherine, who's this debunker, right? Like I said, we find out somewhere in the middle of the film, I think, that the reason that she had a crisis of faith is because, well, she was on a missionary mission with her family. They were sacrificed by this village, so she lost her faith. Dead. Of all the things I've seen in movies where something happened or someone lost someone, caused them to lose their faith, a ritual sacrifice, I guess. But she didn't die. For some reason. But yeah, the movie actually starts with this priest who has this picture of Catherine. The face burns. And then you realize a bunch of other pictures are also burning where her face is, and they link together to create some sort of symbol, a symbol that will be important later. Takes forever to contact her about this. She's already in Chile when does, but yeah, she's the debunker. She's trying to debunk everything. She said she had 48 cases, and all 48 have been debunked. So She has with her Ben, played by Idris Elba before he was Idris Elba. This was even before the Prom Night remake. So yeah, no one knew who Idris Elba was yet. Nobody knew. Idris Elba would be back in The Losers later on. I think there's another one before this too that he's in somewhere. But yeah, and I don't know what accent he's trying to do. He seems like he's trying to be American, but he keeps dipping in and out of his British accent. But they go to Chile, they're brought in, and they meet Doug, played by David Morrissey, who I know as the fake 11th Doctor from Doctor Who. And when I say that, it's because I don't remember his real name. It was a special called The Next Doctor, where the 10th Doctor arrives and finds someone running around, gallivanting around, calling himself the Doctor. He believes to be a future incarnation. So may not even be the 11th Doctor, but it wouldn't be the first time a Doctor has met a different incarnation himself, and it wouldn't be the last. But there are some twists and turns with it, and not everything is what it seems. I'll just put it that. But yeah, I recognize him right away. Hey, that's the fake Doctor guy from that special. Yeah. So they start to investigate these plagues, right? You get the plagues that come. The river is red, so it ends up being blood, and specifically human blood. How they explain that is kind of ewy, if you really think about it, but yeah, human blood. And then you get the flies and maggots, frogs, locusts, boils, lice, all that sort of thing. And then, of course, you get the fire from the sky, or meteors, and the last one, the death of the firstborn child. So, she has to investigate these things, and she finds it's linked to a little girl named Lauren, played by Anna Sophia Robb, who people say have special abilities, and they want to kill her because they think that she's like sent by Satan or something. And then she gets a call from that priest guy at the beginning, who's an old friend of hers, and explains that there is some sort of legend, foretold prophecy, that there will be a second born child. There'll be a child, second born, that will be the embodiment of Satan, basically. And they seem to think that Lauren is that child. Pay no attention to the fact that she's using the 10 plagues of Egypt, which were bestowed to Moses by God, not Satan, to do the dirty work in this town. I was already a little bit iffy with this, but there's a double twist in the whole thing as well, that just blew my mind. Like, the first twist, I was like, okay, this makes more sense now. But then the other twist went, oh, shit, okay. But yeah. So the townspeople keep getting killed off, basically. And they have to investigate. They want to evacuate the town. And so they said they have to go to the mayor for that, and that's when they find the boils. Boils can kill you? I guess we have too many of them. I've had boils on my ass. Shut up. They had to drain them. I know that's gross, I'm sorry. But, yeah, I've had them. It was nothing too dangerous, but, Really, it's almost 9:30. You're talking in the goddamn hallway? Yeah, so, uh, where was I? Yeah, so they're investigating, right? And they are, they don't want, they find that the Boyles, the mayor, and all the people in the mayor's office are covered in boils and they're dead. It is confusing. I guess not really, but yeah, this starting to ramp up. They go to look, so they find, so they do mention that um, uh, Lauren's brother was found dead. They think she did it. So, and when they go look at the body, it's decomposed. Like, according to them, according to Ben, it's decomposed like it's been under buried for years. That it's like rapidly decomposed. You know, that sort of thing. What caused it? The make the makeup effect or body double they used. It looks, I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of Glenn from Seed of Chucky. It's off-putting. It's real off-putting. But yeah. Also, I should mention that uh, Catherine has this dream of her and Doug having sex. It may or may not have been a dream, depending on what we find out later. But I guess it happened, and it could be a dream. I don't know. It depends. And then things start to ramp up. When the plagues start to ramp up, things happen. There's a scene that made me flip out. It's when Doug is fixing the fish on the grill. It's almost done, and when he goes to take it off, it's covered in flies and maggots. Like, just covered in it. I had to throw it away. I'm like, perfectly good fish. And it sucks, because I'm planning on going. I might still, going to Culver's for the walleye sandwich. I haven't. I went to Culver's the other day, and I saw they had it, and I wanted to get it. I didn't have enough money. So I said I'm going to try to save and go on Friday to see if I could, eat it then. But, yeah, not. I don't know. Fish is a thing. Anyway, so, it's during this, I should mention, in that call she got from her priest friend, thing just sets on fire and kills him. He dies over the phone, which happens twice. And by the way, you could tell this was 2007 because they had those. You remember the cell phones that had that special walkie-talkie mode that you push the button, it goes bring, and it's like it goes bring, and like a walkie-talkie thing. Some phones had that. My friend Tim had one of those. Bleep, you could do that. And those things were annoying. It's very 2007. They have it. They use that because they don't have any phone signal. But yet they could still make that work. Who am I to question 2007 technology? So Ben talks to her in that. And at one point, Ben gets knocked down. You think it was by her. There's one point she goes to visit, and the girl's mom, Lauren's mom, goes, "You have to kill my my little girl," or something like that. And she's like, "No." And she goes, "Why not? Why not? Why would she say that?" Well, all right. Get ready for the first twist. So, so I forgot. Let me do the whole legend that he goes for. They think that she is the devil, right? She is the embodiment of Satan. And so it's also said that God will send an angel to kill this spawn of Satan, this embodiment of Satan. And the priest thinks that Catherine is the angel. That is the whole thing. I forgot to spell the whole thing out. That is what it is. So, we get to the climax of this film, and she's completely convinced that, okay, all this stuff is happening. It's raining down fire, basically. She has to do this. She tries to trick her, and she brings this blade. She tries to kill her, and she gives her memories, basically. She shows her memories. So, we find out that not everything is not, as the Wizards of Waverly Place theme song has said, everything is not what it seems. we find out that basically the whole town is a cult, led by Doug, and they were trying to sacrifice her to the devil. Because they were sacrificing the second borns for some reason. Or is she a firstborn? She's a second born. So she's trying to sacrifice the second borns, I guess. Because these people are a long line of only children. Except for the two siblings that were there. But everyone else is a long line of only children, I guess. Although you can surmise that they only say they're from a long line of only children because they're killing the second borns, so they keep it that way. If that's the case, though, if you want to keep it where it's just only one child, put a rubber on, man. Do the snippety. Come on. How'd you have one child get a vasectomy? Boom. Although, the way things are going, I might outlaw those too. But, yeah, so Doug is the bad guy and he killed Ben. We barely see the death, but yeah, he killed Ben. And, the firstborn brother, tried to kill her, stabbed her, but it healed. Because she's the angel sent to kill the spawn of Satan, basically, is what it is. A spawn of the devil. And then after that happens, after she heals, the brother just instantly decays into a corpse. Gnarly effects, too. It's CGI, but still kind of gnarly. And, yeah. So, then she points out that, he's a firstborn child, and they all are, and starts raining down fire, killing all the firstborns in town. And the two of them get in a car and they drive away. And she said that. So we had the first twist that she's the angel. So you might be wondering, well, where's the child of the devil that, the embodiment of the devil that she's got to stop? Well, they're driving, and she says, Catherine, it's okay. It's just the two of us now, and I'm going to take care of you. And she's like, what about the boy? Catherine goes, what do you mean? Well, the unborn one, the one in your stomach, you'll have to take care of him too. And then she remembers. Apparently, her having sex with Doug was real. It happened. Wasn't a dream. Or, it looks different than the one we saw in the dream. Almost as if she was drugged and he just banged her while she was out. And that, children, is what we call rape. And that's bad. Well, I shouldn't have said that word. Sexual assault. Sexual assault is bad, okay? Really, really bad. Don't do it, okay? Yeah. That's what we call sexual assault. We'll put it that way. It's a better word than the R word. Sorry. I apologize for saying that R word. I don't, that's what we call sexual assault. And, because that's what it looks like. Because the other one, the one in her dream, it looked passionate. It looked all around. The one that they show with him looks like she's laying there and he's just ramming it into her. So, yeah. And boy, did they get lucky that it only took one time for it to work. Now, sometimes that's how it works. Sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes you think that you can't even have children. And then your girlfriend messages you on Facebook and says, surprise, we're having a baby. And you nearly shit your pants in your mom's computer chair. I wasn't living with my mom at the time. I wish you happened to be there at her house at the time. Lucky me. And I may have peed a little. So yes, the child embodiment of Satan is her born child. Her unborn child, excuse me. Now, of course, you gotta think, it's gonna be a conflict if that child is born, and then, Laura's going to have to kill it. Or you could just get an abortion. However, if she's got her faith back, she won't be allowed to do it. Because, those people, they don't believe in that. However, if she got her faith back, her ending up being the parent of the satanic child might also change that. Like, oh, there is a God, there is faith. But this, you put that in me? Although, if you believe that that's the demon child, then perhaps you do still have to have faith, I guess. But I don't know. I like the twist. The first twist when they... Okay, so, like I said, okay, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, she's demonic? Did they not understand what... I was like, do the writers not know what they're doing here? Are the writers thinking wrong? Why would the embodiment of Satan control the 10 plagues that God had Moses bestow upon Egypt? Did they just not understand that? And then when the twist, I'm like, oh, of course, that's okay. She's the angel. Okay, was the demon kid her brother? No, because if that was the case, then it wouldn't be. It looked like it wasn't born yet, which is kind of a stupid twist. It's kind of a stupid idea. It was like, oh, this demon is she supposed to, this demon child she's supposed to stop. It hasn't been born yet. So why did they already send the angel? It's confusing. Was she always like that? Was she? I don't know. Again, it's confusing. But I'm going to give it a high middle of the road. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than 13 Ghosts. That one is still on the bottom for me. But I think it's a decent film. I wasn't sure when I read the back of it. I'm like, oh, we're going into biblical stuff. I don't know. I thought it was with the reaping. I was like, it was just another, meaning for the rapture. Like when the end of the world happens, all the good people are gonna get raptured and sent to heaven. The rest of us are fucked because we're stuck down here. All of us sinners. But I argue that every single person in the world has sinned at least once. Even the ones who worship the God, there's still something. And you can say, oh, well, they've been absolved of their sins. How does that work? Like, you can be forgiven for your sins. Like, oh, I killed a guy when I was 16, but now I've embraced God and I've, embraced God, I've been baptized, and I've been forgiven. Murder is still a sin. You still did that. I don't understand it. I've been absolved of all my sins. I don't think that's how it works. I'm just saying. So even if you're a devout Christian man who has been absolved of all his sins, you still did that. You still committed a sin. Everybody on this planet, at least once, whether they want to admit it or not, has committed a sin. I'm just saying. And no, I'm not a preacher, man. I'm not a God. I did go to church and Bible school stuff when I was a kid, but I never really cared. I liked the vacation Bible school stuff because that was fun stuff, and the little things they did was right across the street from my apartment complex, so, but it was, but this movie, like I said, a high middle of the road. I liked it. That was okay. So, what are your thoughts on The Reaping? Let me comment so much, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I was Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.